What is going on, YouTube? Welcome back to Fireside Rangers. I'm your host, Eric Wilson. Today, joined by my co-host, Will Cohen. Today, we're going to be reviewing some mock trades, specifically ones that we've made, some that you guys, the fans, submitted to us, and a couple that I found on Twitter that I thought looked a little interesting. So obviously, we'll be shouting out everyone who submitted their mock trades, and we'll be going over them. Would we take them? Do we think it's possible? And all that good stuff. But before we do, make sure you guys like, subscribe, ring that bell so you don't miss a notification. If you're watching us on Apple or Spotify, be sure to give us a 5-star review. If you have any more mock trades, be sure to leave them down in the comment section below, and be sure to let us know how you feel about the ones that we're going to be going over today. Lastly, be sure to follow us on all of our social media platforms at Fireside Rangers on Instagram, X, and TikTok. And before we really get into it, Will, how are you doing today? I know you've prepped a couple mock trades, so I guess we'll start with you too.
I'm doing good today. I've been sending out emails for internships and stuff like that, but other than that, kind of a lazy day. But I mean, if you want me to start with my first trade, I'll go right ahead.
Yeah, get right on into it.
All right, so I have the Rangers trading for Jordan Eberle. I think he'd be perfect for the New York Rangers. I think that's what they need, and if they're looking for a first-line right winger, which they are, he's perfect for them. I have the Rangers getting Eberle for 50% retained. He does have a modified 15 no trade clause, but hopefully he waives that because he could see the Rangers as a cup contender. And the Kraken get Zach Jones, a conditional 2024 second round pick that becomes a first if the Rangers advance to the Eastern Conference Final. That's my trade.
What kind of stats is that really putting up this year? That seems like a pretty hefty package.
You know, he's not putting up the best stats, but and but I'm
You
kind of
cut
going
out.
off what has what's going on in the market already, and teams are asking for first round picks. I don't think you're going to be able to get a player without giving up a first round pick, no matter who they are. But he's putting up 9 goals, 19 assists for 28 points in 46 games. So I mean, do I really want to give up a first round pick for that? No. That's why I kind of made it. I made it a second, and that's conditional. But I mean, this market's so weird because it's really a seller's market because teams are asking for first. Like the Flyers, I think it's Scott Lawton, they want a first or something. No, Sean Walker. They want a first for Walker. Like they want first. Like these want first for players that shouldn't garner first. But I mean, I just think that's what's going to happen with him. So Eberle 50% retained for Zach Jones in a conditional second that becomes a first if the Rangers advance to the Eastern Conference Final. That's my first one.
Yeah, see, you're right, because after Lindholm and Monahan both went for first, that kind of set the standard of the deadline. The standard is set really high. So you're probably right in the fact that the Rangers are going to have to give up first, no matter who they want to get. And Dolan, the owner of the Rangers, refuses to let the Rangers trade away their first round pick for this year because he wants the Rangers to be involved at the Sphere. I don't think the Rangers are ever going to win a cup with Dolan as the owner for stupid stuff like that.
An article came out, obviously saying that, but then Larry Brooks just came out today saying that wasn't true. So I still think that we're going to be able to trade our.
I was going to say, Drury, if it were true, Drury would probably just have to make the ultimate sacrifice, trade it away for a really good player. He'd probably get fired, but I would still put his name on the cup.
Yeah, me too.
I don't know, but we'll see what happens. I've concocted a mock trade in my head just now. Also, just for the mock trades that we're doing, we're not going to do the math on the cap and the salary and everything, because if we did, we'd be sitting here cranking numbers for ages. We're just going to say that within these mock trades, Chris Drury is able to just work some magic, and mathematically it works out, because we would need Colin for that to do all the math. But to me, this is a very simple trade that I've just created. The Rangers receive Matt Zuccarello, 50% salary retained. The Minnesota Wild receive a conditional second-round pick of this year, becomes a first if the Rangers make it to the conference finals. That's it. Zuccarello has 39 points in 41 games this season. As at 36 years old, just bring him home. You'd play right on the wing there.
And the Wild aren't doing very good this year, so who knows if they're going to make the playoffs. I'd do it, but at the same
For
yeah, I
Zuccarello's
do
name,
it.
his name hasn't been too heavily involved in the trade rumors, but
Yeah.
I would love to see Zook come back home, finally win a cup with the Rangers. But that's the only mock trade that I've created for today. I just thought of it in my head. If anyone's going to criticize me on it, just know that I just thought of it in the last 15 seconds. But Will, hit us with your second trade, and then we'll get right into the fan submitted ones.
Okay, so my second trade is Daniel Sprong. Now this is if the Rangers decide, we're not gonna dish out a first round pick. There's nothing we like. Let's just keep Kako up. Let's just move Kako back up to the first line. We need a third line right winger, a fourth line guy. Let's get Sprong. So Sprong at 50% retained. This kind of goes in hand with the Eberle, but I guess like if you don't do Eberle, Sprong, just straight up Sprong, for a 2024 fourth round pick, which becomes a 2023 third or 2024 third if the Rangers advance to the Eastern Conference Final. Um, the Rangers don't have a third round pick to begin with this year. I don't know how conditions work. Like I don't know if can you put a conditions on a fourth round pick to make it a third if you don't have the third round pick. I don't know how that works out, but um that's the only implication, but that's my trade. I do like Daniel Sprong. He's having a very good year this year. And think he has 36 points. Let me just check that real quick. And I think he'd be perfect for that third line. Him, um, Cooley, Brodzinski, and Sprung. I think that'd be pretty dirty. Plus, he's defensively sound. So that's my second trade. I'd love to see Daniel Sprung in a Rangers uniform.
That's not a bad trade at all. I would be more than happy if the Rangers got Sprong. But then again, that's saying if Kakko goes up to the first line, which, as we've seen,
It's probably not going to happen.
probably won't happen.
Yeah.
Hasn't really worked out. But we'll get into the fan submitted ones. Speaking of Kakko, here's one where the Rangers trade him away. This one comes from at Laffy Taffy 444 on X. He said to NYR, Trevor Zegras, and Frank Vetrano. And in return, the Rangers would give up Capo Caco, Adam Sikora, Barclay Goodrow, a 2024 conditional first round pick, and a 2026 fourth round pick. Now, my thing is with this one, I don't know if Anaheim would make that, giving up
No,
Zegers
I don't.
and Toronto.
Yeah,
Like
there's no way.
I know we're giving them a lot there, like Kako, Sakura, Goudreau, and a first round pick. I'm like the fourth round pick too, but like really the meat of that is Kako, the top prospect and a first round pick. But it's for Zegers and Vitron. I don't think the Ducks would want to.
See, like if that was for Vetrano and Henrique, I'd say I think that's a pretty good package. But for Zegras, like I think they'd probably just do that alone, like alone for Zegras too. Like maybe they'd probably want a little bit more, but like for
I
Zegras
think
and
that's
Vetrano, like
overpaying.
I just can't see the Ducks doing that. Plus, I don't see them taking on that Goodrow contract. They already have like guys like Radko Gudis who they're paying a good amount of money. Like, why would they want to take on another one of those? So I can't see the Ducks doing that.
I mean, I would love for it to happen. And I don't want to say I love it because I don't like the idea of giving away Kako. But for Zegers and Vetrano, I think it would be worth it. Sakura, obviously, really good prospect, but I wouldn't be heartbroken if it happened.
Hmm.
Goudreau can buy. Um, and then
Keep it simple. Bye.
the picks are picks. So, I mean, looking at this one, if it were to happen, I would love it, but I don't think it will. I think, like you said, if it was just only Zegers or only Vetrano, I think we would be overpaying for that. But the two of them together, I think we're underpaying.
Yeah, I think that, like I said, I think that trade would work out if it was Vetrano and Henrique, but and or maybe like Zegras and well, Vetrano alone would be a complete overpay, but I think for the both of them that is a severe underpayment, and the Ducks would laugh in Chris Drury's face, and I think hang up the phone there immediately. I think Verbeek just goes, yeah, no, and just hangs up.
I,
Maybe he doesn't
I
even
would
say no, just
say
hangs up.
I would say take Zegers out of the trade, so it's only Vetrano, and then take the first round pick out of there. So it's just Kako, Sakura, Goudreau, and a fourth.
See, I think you'd have to take on that Goodrow. I think for
Well,
his
we'd
contract.
also probably retain some salary there, but
Yeah, but still, I think you'd well. Yeah, maybe. I mean, I still think that you're gonna have to put at least a second round pick in there. I'd say take out the first, make it a second, um and
well,
then
see, on
the
this it
fourth.
does say a conditional first round pick. So I'm assuming he means like a second that becomes a
Yeah.
first, but yeah, he didn't explain what the condition was, so I'm not too sure. But overall, based on how much I want it to happen, how likely I think it would happen combined, this one gets I'm gonna do like a Dave Portnoy style
Hmm.
one bite. Everyone knows the rules. I give it a 7-2.
I agree with that. Yeah, 7-2. Yeah, I agree with that. I'd love it if it happened. Will it happen? No, not a chance.
Yeah.
For
It
me, it's
gets
just no.
it gets a high score for how much I want it to happen, but the likelihood of it brings the score down a little bit.
Yeah.
The only other submission we got on Twitter came from you, Will. You said the Rangers trade me for McDavid 1-for-1. The Rangers would be foolish to ever make that decision and send me off to Edmonton.
Wow.
Um,
Foolish. That's a hard word right there.
I
Foolish.
I clearly contribute more to the franchise than Connor McDavid ever would. But
You, sir, I would pack your entire house for you, drive all the way down to Florida, pick you up, and drive you all the way up to Edmonton, pick McDavid up and drive to New York for that trade.
just to everyone watching, let me know if you guys would subscribe to Fireside Oilers. But we'll see. Um, we'll see. Okay, moving over to YouTube though. At WhiteGD4100 says, so the part where the Rangers are giving up, he says Jones or Robertson. I just think for the sake of simplicity, we'll say that it's Jones. He said Zach Jones, Capo Caco, and a first round pick and another pick, doesn't specify,
Hmm.
for Vetrano and Henrique.
Hmm.
So for another pick, we'll just say he means a second rounder. So we got Kako, a first rounder, Jones, and a second for Vetrano and Henrique. This is another similar situation to that Twitter one where I'd say I don't think Anaheim would accept that trade.
I wouldn't do that trade either.
Really?
Yeah, I wouldn't. See, like everyone really likes for Toronto, and I do too, but I just don't think he's what the Rangers need right now. Like he's a shot first man. Like in past years, the Rangers would like well, the Rangers don't need a shot first guy on that first line. Like they need a dynamic skater who can set up Mika because Mika's the one who needs to start shooting. Like he is the shot first guy. Like I just don't. I wouldn't do that. I don't know. I
But it's
just
for
wouldn't do a trade
Vetrano
for
and
Vetrano.
Henrique.
Hmm?
It's for Vetrano and Adam Henrique. See, well, before you even say anything, I will say I've been seeing this like new narrative on Twitter recently that's kind of talks about how Rangers fans are like glorifying Vetrano because of the previous success he's had with the team. And yes, he's having like a career year this year in Anaheim, but most of the goals that he's scored this season have been on the power play. And if he were to get traded to the Rangers again, he's really not gonna get a lot of power play time on
He'll
that
get
first
power play
unit.
2 time. He's not getting
Yeah.
power play
So
time at
it's
all.
like, would he really produce the same consistency with the Rangers? Probably not. I still love Frank the Tank and I still want us to get him, but to everyone out there that's like, this is the number one guy that we need to get, yeah, like you might need to lower your expectations a little bit.
Yeah.
Um,
He's great, but he gets power play 1 time with Anaheim. He's gonna get 30 seconds of time on the power play with the second unit and the Rangers. Like, he's probably not gonna produce like how he's doing in Anaheim right now. I just again, like I said, I just do not think he's the type of player the Rangers need on that first line right now.
yeah,
They just need like a dynamic skater, and I don't know. I just don't think Vetrano's the type of guy that the Rangers really need.
yeah.
I do
Um,
love him though. Do love him, but
yeah, we'll see. So that was actually all that I believe that was all that we received. I think there's one on Instagram actually. Um, Sorry, I'm playing this horribly. Okay, yeah, nothing on Instagram. So that was all that we received from the fans, but I do have a few more that I just found on Twitter. We got a few here from at the Sports Maniac. He says it's time to cook, and then proposed 3 trades. So I kind of want to rapid fire these. I'm gonna read them, and then we're gonna give it the one bite review. Speaking of Frank Vetrano, to the New York Rangers, Frank Vetrano. To Anaheim, Adam Sikora, 2024 second round pick, 2024 fourth round pick.
I'm not gonna.
Se-
I know
seven
that this is
seven.
Nico. This is my boy Nico. What's up? I like it. Who is it? Sakura and Jones in a
No, it
second.
was just Sikora, a second and a fourth, both this year for Frank Vetrano. They're not giving up that much
That's not
for
a
it.
bad trade. That's not a bad
I
trade.
would I would I
Again,
would make that trade.
I would make it. Well, would I? I would make it, but do I? Like again, like I said, I don't want Frank Vetrano, but that's a good package. I would say for Frank Vetrano.
I would
Nico, I'm giving you an 8.
I'll give it a 7-8. I'm gonna raise it. 7-8.
I'm giving him an
Um
8.
yeah. Next one is to the Rangers, Boone Jenner and a 2025 fourth round pick in return for Zach Jones, Capo Caco, and this year's first round pick.
No, I'm not taking that.
That's
Nope.
it's no. I think that's definitely an overpay for Boone
That's
Jenner.
one. Jenner is yes. Jenner kind of is a veteran, but he and Kako have like the way they play, like their defense is similar. And Kako's younger anyway, and he's cheaper. That's a no for me. I'm not giving up a first for Boone Jenner.
I'm gonna
That's a
also
no.
say
I'm giving that
no.
a 3 out of a 2.4 out of 10.
Wow, that's low. I was gonna be generous and give it like a 5.4 or
I'm giving
something.
it 2.
Okay, this
Donald.
last one, I'm gonna make a fool of myself here. Um, so it's a trade with Washington. Well, you got to help me get with this guy's name. The Rangers received Nicholas Aube Kubel.
Nicholas Aube Kubel.
I was close. Okay, and then Washington receives a 2025 fourth round pick. That's from Dallas, and a 2026 third round pick. It's owned by the Rangers. So,
I'm not doing that. That's way too much to give up for a guy who cleared waivers already once this year. The most I'd go is like I'm trading a 2023 fifth or sixth for Abe Kubel. The guy was literally on waivers and nobody claimed him. Like the Rangers could have claimed him for free this year and they did not. So that's a no from me. I'm going with a 4.6 out of 10 on that one.
yeah, I'm also gonna say no. I don't think it's as bad as the last one for Boone Jenner. I'll give it like a 4.7.
Though I would say I would say that I do like Nicholas Abe Kubel on the fourth line. I do like that. I just wouldn't do it for what Nico is trading away. But
Mhm.
I do like the player.
Yeah.
Good job, Nico. For the player, I'll raise it to a 7.5.
Mhm. All right. The last one we're going to talk about, I think, is the worst one we've had. So before I even read it, I'm just going to say no. It gets a 0, and I'm sorry if I'm going to offend this person. From at Talking Rangers, at Talking underscore Rangers on Twitter. Is this one of your friends too, Will?
No, I don't know him.
Okay.
I have seen this trade though, and I agree with you. I'm going with no already.
The Rangers receive Frank Vetrano and Adam Henrique in exchange for a 2024 first round pick, a 2024 fourth round pick, and Brennan Othmann.
Oh my goodness gracious.
No. Talk about an overpay.
Wow. Okay. I'm sorry to offend this person. I'm really not, but that is a 0. You're giving up a first. You're giving up Othmann, and you're giving up a fourth for Frank Vetrano, who you acquired for a singular first. I mean, a singular fourth round pick in 2022. Like, I,
It's not the best trade I've ever seen. That's
like
definitely an overpay.
another thing that I want to say is why are you going to give up all these assets for Frank Vetrano when you can get another player who's like Frank Vetrano of the 2022 deadline. Like,
I mean,
give up,
I
just give up a
I
4.
like Vetrano. I don't want to dog Vetrano because I would be very happy to get him. It's just the first I wouldn't give up by itself for him, and Othmann I wouldn't give up by itself for him.
No, like that, like that's way too much for Frank Vetrano. Like a Othmann and a first, that's basically 2 first-round picks right there. Like that's
Othmann's
all.
going to
That's
be
a
like the next star of the Rangers.
the freaking like if Pat Verbeek, if that goes, if Drury does that, calls over Pat Verbeek and goes, "Yo, this is what I got. I'm giving you Othmann a first and a fourth
You
for
better have a
Frank
field
Vetrano,
day.
straight up Frank Vetrano." He's gonna say into the mic, "Just for Frank Vetrano, like just Frank Vetrano." Hell
Vetrano
yeah, I'm
and
doing that,
Henrique and
huh?
Henrique. It was
And
Vetrano and
Henry,
Henrique, but still,
still,
I think
I'm not doing that. Like I'm not doing that.
yeah,
I'm
I
not.
don't know. I don't know. Maybe that mock trade was a joke, but
I'm giving it a 0.
it gets a 0 in my book
If
too.
the Rangers are going to get Frank Vetrano, they should just go out and get a player that's similar to Frank Vetrano, like he was in 2022, where they don't have to give up anything of significant value, like a fourth, give up a fifth, something like that. Like you do not need to give up that many assets for Frank Vetrano. Like you just don't.
Yeah,
There's no point.
yeah, I don't know. I don't agree with that one, but that was everything that we had. So that about wraps up today's episode. I hope everyone watching enjoyed and hopefully agreed with all of our takes on these mock trades. If you did agree or did disagree, feel free to let us know how you felt about them down in the comment section below. We'd be more than happy to read about them. But thank you to everyone for watching. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, ring that bell so you don't miss a notification. Will is deeply upset about that Othman
Yeah,
trade
some of you
still.
guys just need to like get off cap friendly. Like stop doing this, please. I don't care
If
if
you're
it's as a
watching this
joke.
on Apple or Spotify, be
Don't
sure
get it
to
out.
leave a 5-star review. And lastly, be sure to follow us on all of our social media platforms at Fireside Rangers on Instagram, X, TikTok, YouTube, everything. So you guys can see more of the fan mailbag posts like this, and you'll be able to submit your takes and questions and opinions to be featured on the channel next time we do one. But once again, thank you to everyone for watching. Have a great night, and
Let's
let's go
go
Rangers.
Rangers.